Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my humble home, my property here in Livingston, Montana. Okay, today's date is the 14th of September of 2021. Exactly what I'm doing in this video here today is I decided to do a kind of a tribute, if you will, to American or USA American bow makers. The reason being is because I spent this entire summer, full of COVID and being locked up in the house and crappy weather up here in Montana, smoke, heat. Us guys and gals up here in Montana faced everything this year, I do believe. But to while away my time, I spent the entire summer in my free time studying archery. Archery was something I did 35 years ago. I did a lot of it. I bow hunted a lot. I've handled quite a few bows in my day, enough to get me in trouble anyway. I really actually know a little bit more about the sport probably than what I'm letting on. But one thing I want to make perfectly clear before I get into this, I'm not going to try to stay here too awful long and make this video too long, but my channel is really not an archery channel, but it is something that's good to do. I want to let people know that. It'll teach you focus. It'll teach you, focus, concentration. If you're a hunter, it'll make a better hunter out of you, and it gets you outside. It becomes kind of addictive in a way, and like that. It's just a good mental and physical sport to get into. And for you guys and gals that don't know anything about it, I would highly encourage you to look in to the sport of archery, if you would, please. Now, one of the things way back in the first part of June when I got involved and decided I was going to buy a little equipment and all this other stuff, I was absolutely taken beside myself realizing just how much products that are on the market that are made in China. I mean, some of these bows are okay. I know, I bought some. But almost every bow that I bought, with the exception of one, I had missed the mark and had bought bows that were just a little bit too heavy for me, and I knew that was a bad gig. But here it is with these Chinese bows. And some of these offshore bows and stuff, the stuff that they stamp out with CNC machines and, mass produce them and stuff like that, they're an impersonal archery item. Did you key in on me? They're impersonal. They might feel all right, but it's been my experience, a lot of these bows, they don't draw real smooth. They have a tendency to stack. Sometimes these manufacturers don't get the poundage just right. The poundage is either way off too. Generally, it's heavier than what the archer wants, and that's definitely a no-no. And all that. And their quality control, especially in the way they ship these bows, is horrendous. See, with American, USA-made bows and Bowyers, that's people that make bows. I'm sure you knew that. But a lot of these Bowyers put their heart and soul into these bows. You know what I mean? They're handmade, hand-sanded, hand-treated, all that stuff, handmade, homegrown, whatever you want to say. A lot more attention goes into bows like that right there than these commercial bows. So you as an archer, this is what you got to do. This video is really mostly for people that are beginning, because people that have been in it for a while probably say, well, fool, you don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, but yes, I do. I most certainly do. It probably doesn't seem like it, but here it is. In this day and age, when you get involved with archery, you got to decide what kind of bow you want to shoot. Because believe you me, there's a lot of different genres, kinds, species of bows. I mean, here it is. You've got long bows. You've got traditional long bows. You've got hybrid reflex, deflex long bows. You've got recurves. You've got various crossbows, mind you. Crossbows. You got compounds of every flavor, shape, and whatnot have you. Some of these compounds that they got anymore, they look like more like a machine than they do a simple bow, But anyway, you got Turkish bows, Indian bows, horn bows, Mongolian bows, Old English longbows, and this list goes on and on and on. So what I would encourage anybody to do is just get into a bow you think you can that you think you can shoot or whatever have you, but just don't overbow yourself. Personally, it is my testimony, after fooling around all summer long, I bought a Southwest Archery recurve, and I've had limbs on order all summer long because the original limbs I got were too heavy for me, so I decided to put on a set of longbow limbs. You can do that with these takedown recurves. Well, they've been on back order for way over 2 months, And then I bought a Galaxy Black Ridge hybrid longbow, and that at 40 pounds, and that bow right there was a little bit heavy for me, but at least I could practice with it and whatnot have you. But then I even got stupider yet and went out and bought me a Trad Tech ILF riser. That's some risers that you can change the limbs, ILF. International Limb Fitting is what that stands for. And I bought a couple of sets of limbs, like these guys right here. A couple sets of these bamboo and carbon limbs, But both sets of limbs I bought were definitely a little bit too heavy for me. So I kind of missed out there. So, how's the old saying go, 3 strikes and you're out. But what I ended up doing was investing in 2 of those bows right there, and those are jet bows. They come out of California. John is the guy that owns jet bows. You can see them on Etsy. They are hybrid reflex-deflex longbows. And I've decided, after all my fooling around and catching back up with my 35 years of being absent from archery and everything, these type of bows right there, and I just got them doing a couple reviews on them. I reviewed each one, a sit-down review. These are the most comfortable for me. These are the ones that I like to pull back. There's not a lot of stacking that goes on. They're relatively easy to handle. They're light and all that other stuff. But my point being, as my hat goes off, this is supposed to be a tribute video to guys that are making handmade bows, recurves, long bows, whatever kind of bows, because these type of people like this keep the spirit of archery alive. They keep the essence of archery alive, because some of these bows that you get that are mass produced, like I said a few minutes ago, they're impersonal. They're mass produced, and they don't feel like they've got a home touch to them. They don't feel like they actually belong to you. I know I'm screwing this all up, but I think you understand what I'm getting at. But you take bows like that right there that John makes out of jet bows, and all these other guys, he isn't the only one. There must be at least probably 100 Bowyers in America here that are making bows of all different kinds. These are the bows that I'd rather support than your commercial, let's make 150,000 bows in 1 month kind of companies, if you know what I'm saying to you. And I already did lengthy reviews about these bows right here, but I like the care that John puts into his bows and all these other Bowyers too. So if you're what I'm trying to say here, if you're the type of person that's looking for bows that are more fitted to you, more friendly towards you, that's got that kind of a homemade feeling and all of that kind of stuff, keeping the spirit alive, so to speak, I would definitely get into your USA-made specialty bows that are made by these by these Bowyers. Now you take like these jet bows right here. Here's one bad thing about supporting guys that are making bows and what have you. They have a tendency to be very expensive. I'm not going to name off a bunch of companies, but I'm well aware of a few companies that are making, or a few guys, private Bowyers, whatever have you, that are making bows that are pushing up there around $1,000. Well, a lot of people can't afford that. These bows that John makes right here, as of this date, as the timestamp on this file right here, they're only running right around $350, $400, $425, $430, like in there. So I think these bows here, as far as I'm concerned, are a really good deal. At the price point, that they're at. But like I say, my whole thing is whatever bow you get into, because I don't want to sit here and start cutting down recurves, compounds, and all this. But whatever you get into, make sure that it's not too heavy. Make sure that the grip on the bow fits you right. You can pull it right. You can come back to anchor and all that, because your archery endeavors will be so much better. You will endure so much less frustration. And like I say, these type of bows right here, these older school bows, well, a reflex, deflex, a longbow isn't really that old of a style of a bow, but they're definitely different than the old traditional longbows, but I personally like them. Does that mean that you gotta like them? No, that's not what I'm saying. Just find what bow you like and just go for it, Don't be a dummy like me and waste a bunch of money on bows that just don't quite cut it. These type of bows right here, these reflex, deflex longbows, they're for me. I like them. They're easy to handle. They don't stack, and like that. But one of the reasons is that I got the poundage right. I made sure I bought bows from John that the poundage was right. One of them bows back there, matter of fact, that guy right there that's on the outside has only got it's 32 pounds at 28 inches of draw. And that guy over there, I just got done reviewing, that's on the right-hand side there, that's 36 inches of draw at 28 inches. 36 pounds at 28 inches of draw. So, there you are, and I got mail popping up in my face. Man, I hate Windows. I got the operating system, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's my whole thing. I never have got along with recurves too much, because those doggone things, especially if they're mass-produced recurves, handmade recurves and stuff like that might be a different story. But I never have shot custom handmade recurve, So there you are with all that, Back in my day of archery, I did have a 70-inch longbow that was custom built for me. I got along pretty good with that bow. And by the way, while I'm thinking about it, these bows right here don't have any hand shock in the past. I forgot to say that, but they got very little hand shock like some of the recurves do and whatnot have you. But so that's where I stand. I like reflex, deflex, hybrid longbows, but that certainly doesn't mean that you do. But the thing of it is quickly figure out what you want, what you need, what you like, or whatever have you, so you don't waste a bunch of money. That's all I'm trying to say here, really, But I think I've said everything I need to say, and this video is 14 minutes long. I got to get going, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this and visiting me here in my home. We'll catch you later, and adios, my friends.